Hey everybody, welcome back to You Are Good Enough. This is your host, Kimberly Bell, and today I'm excited to announce that I'm hanging out with Joe Black. Joe is a strength and conditioning coach, and I'm going to get right into his bio here. He is the head coach of Prototype Barbell Club. That's an Olympic weightlifting club, and he's a personal trainer at CrossFit Prototype in Westboro, Mass. You've coached athletes at the local and national level. You've competed in the sport of Olympic weightlifting yourself since 2013. And I know that you're extremely proud of the athletes that you coach and that they actually have the courage to step on the stage in front of people and lift weights. Mm-hmm. And wow, yeah, that's big.
It is.
And you're also proud to announce that the Prototype Barbell Club is set to have close to 10 athletes competing at national events in 2020. Wow. And that is a testament to their hard work. But also I want to say it's a testament to your coaching and the support that you offer them. So, a little bit more about you, and then we'll get into that, is you have an incredible wife. You have 2 fur babies. What kind of fur babies do you have, Joe?
A dog and a cat.
Okay, so that's pretty official.
Yeah.
And you enjoy your time with family. You love being in the gym, obviously, woodworking or building things, IPAs, hanging out with friends, and relaxing at home.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And you come from a big family, too. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many kids?
The oldest of 5.
You're the oldest of 5.
The lab rat.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool. So, let's talk a little bit about, I have a few different places that I want to go with this podcast today because I feel like I guess I want to start with what it is that you do. And I know that, we're talking about now that you have 10 athletes competing that you're working with on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So can you tell me a little bit about the demographic, the age, the male, female?
Yeah. So we have our youngest lifter is 13, and our oldest lifter is in her mid-50s.
Wow.
So it really runs the
gamut
of ages, which is really cool.
That is
so. And I work in the realm of Olympic weightlifting. I coach probably 90% women.
You do?
Yeah. So we have 3 boys on the team.
How old are they?
And the rest are all women. They're young, 13, both 2 of them are 13 and 1 is 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I do some personal training with males, but
I
coach mostly females.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I would say it's your energy. Okay, I would say that your energy is what draws, because you feel safe, right? And you're easily, to be engaged with and trusting and all those things. So when it comes to weightlifting, for a female, let's think about that.
Right.
This is kind of new. If you look back, I don't know what it was that I saw. Some woman was lifting amazing weight, in the 1930s or something.
Right.
And I can't remember her name right now, but I was shocked that she was able to lift what she was able to lift, and she didn't even look that big.
Right.
But this has only really come on the scenes in the last years that women are stepping forward. Right. Stepping onto the stage and lifting massive amounts of weight.
I think it was 2000 was the first time that women competed in the Olympics in weightlifting.
Okay, so it was 2000. Okay.
Yeah, less than 20.
Almost 20 years, not quite. That's crazy. It is crazy, yeah. So the age group of females typically, are we talking teens? Are we talking you said 13, so...
Yeah, we have...
High school?
So, off the top of my head, I want to 7 or 8 high school female young ladies, and then we have a few that are in their mid to late 20s, and then from there 30s, 40s, 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you're working closely with them.
Yeah. So with the youth athletes, I see them 3 times a week. So they come and there's actually a practice where they come and we they're learning on the spot, and I think it's really important for their development to get that hands-on coaching.
Right.
And then
Totally agree.
the way we have it set up at the gym is the other women have personal programs that they can follow. They can send me video, or they can come during have coach hours where I'm just at the gym so that I can watch them lift, give them feedback in the moment. But
So I guess I want to get to the place that I tend to go, and that is the meaningful part. I mean, it's all meaningful, right?
Yeah.
But you're building relationships with these women, right? And they trust you, right? And there's a lot really that goes on. If you're working with athletes on a regular basis, you're getting to know their lives, the people in their lives, their eating habits, their sleep habits, right? Their hormonal ups and downs, right? And what's going on in their life. And I love it because I feel like this is a time where females are really stepping into an empowered place, and you are totally one of those people that's supporting this by offering the platform, the safe platform that you're offering them. So you get included in their lives. And I know that I've spoken to a few of them too. And of course they love you. You're like, I think I heard somebody say, you're like, he's our favorite man, he's our favorite guy,
awesome.
He's like, right?
Yeah.
Totally love you, totally feel safe. What do you see, or what have you noticed, if you could share, one thing that you see might be common among the teen group that you feel like they struggle with, or that they share with you that they do? Is there one thing that you see?
Probably their expectations of what they are expecting.
Like what they personally are expecting compared
in
to...
In terms of maybe their results in the gym. Because they're all on social media. They're all watching, they're following the top weightlifters in the country, and they're seeing all of these, male and female, kids that are their age, and they want to be there.
Oh boy.
And so that's probably the hardest part, is explaining to them that it takes time. If you just follow the plan and if you're consistent with it, over time you're just going to get stronger. There's kind of no quick way to get strong unless we use drugs, and that's not
that's
not an option.
That's not a healthy way to go.
It's not healthy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what's important too is that we're stepping into a time when we're trying to honor who we authentically are. And you're supporting that as well, because you're basically saying, we need to look at you as an individual. Let's look at your goals. Let's see where you are, and let's see where you can go, right? So would you agree with that? I mean, this really is a bio-individual sport.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And do we compare, we can start, of course, with social media, right? I mean, right, and judging and all those things that go into it. But what were you going to say?
I love the fact that, I could see their movement and how strong they are. They're already, quite strong. Everyone wants to be stronger. But I love when I see young, teenage boys in the gym, and they just think they're walking around like they're
strutting their stuff.
And they move like crap, and all my girls lift more than them,
right?
And I just think that's awesome. I love that.
And they're efficient. I mean, the girls that I've watched, just beautiful, right? Technique is so strong,
right?
And you're all about that. I mean, I know that because I've watched the feedback. I've heard some of the feedback, seen what you offer.
It's a very important part of the process. So
really
if they get that technique
down,
and instilled at an early age, then that's just going to continue to follow them as they progress. And get stronger, and then they don't have to fight against it.
Right.
So that's what I see most often, is that people want to just put more weight on the bar.
Always,
they want to just try to lift as much as possible.
Right.
And then eventually they just get stuck because their technique is lagging so far behind that, and they get frustrated and, I don't want to take weight off the bar because I can lift this, and but it's a really technique driven sport. So
Yeah, and I bet that really helps, because the go-to is, I just want to go heavier, 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 and get there faster, faster, faster. But if we can actually pull back and really, mind memorize the technique, right, and go slow and build, right, tiny increments, I would think, over a period of time, then you've really got it. Then you've got it under pressure, right? When you go and get on the stage, right, and start lifting in those arenas, you don't have to think about it.
Let that take over.
Right, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah. So what do you think it does for these girls and their confidence? I mean, this is huge.
I have their parents, tell me that they are a different person, I think it's really affected them a lot, and it's something
socially,
that they love to do.
Yeah.
They're good at it.
Yeah.
So with that, I think comes a lot of confidence.
It does.
Good at something.
It does. And I love the fact too that it's okay to be a strong woman. It's becoming okay to be a physically strong woman. Okay, I think women have always been strong in emotional ways, right?
Yeah.
In in all kinds of ways, diverse wise. But now young women are being given permission to, it's okay to use your body. It's okay to get stronger.
Right.
And I can only imagine, because we all need something to get us through, right? Life.
Right. And
high school years can be so challenging for just so many reasons, right? Parents, school, right? And kids are constantly, all the demands of life, from parents, family, society, school, it's all placed on the child.
Yeah.
And they're never really asked, how do you feel?
Right.
How are you feeling about what's going on? The decisions that you're, how do you feel that you can't really sleep right now?
Right.
And that we just want more from you?
I try to ask them that all the time. I ask that to everyone,
Yeah.
How are you feeling today? What's on your mind?
Yeah.
Because that's going to play a big impact on how you're going to perform that day in the gym.
Right.
And I think it can play a really big impact, and I don't think people could think about that as much.
They're human beings.
Yeah,
they're human beings.
You slept
right.
4 or 5 hours last night. And you come into the gym.
Right.
Probably not going to have a good session.
Right. Not going to feel good.
Not going to feel good. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I just think that it's also wonderful though that they have this and it's their thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really cool.
It is really cool. It's nice to see a different kind of sport after school that's not necessarily associated with a high school.
Right.
Not that that's a bad thing, right?
Right.
But now we see there are other ways of having something. It doesn't have to be, right there at the school.
Right.
So
it's kind of a sport for everyone.
It is a sport for everyone, and it really is, bio-individual. It really is, depending on that person.
Right. You can put as much effort into it as you want.
Right.
You can make it your thing, and that's what your life is all about. Or you can, use it to supplement a sport, or just to get into the gym, sweat for an hour, and that's that.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's great. So here's a question. So what do you tell, somebody who's coming in and they're not going through a good time, right? What is the one thing when they start to get frustrated because they want more out of themselves than they're able to give? What is it that you tell them?
I think I just try to make them laugh.
Oh, good.
Just to get them out of it,
and you know what? Who doesn't need that?
Get stop going down that spiral.
Right?
Stop going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Let's laugh. It's one day.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be the thing.
Oh my God, that's just so wonderful.
It's one day of training.
Yeah. It's great.
It's it's like your nutrition. If you're trying to be really good and I don't know.
Well, we have to honor where we are.
Of ice cream, that's fine.
Right.
It's just one day.
Right. Exactly. Right. And it's funny, I coach differently, right? And I'm always this is one moment in time. Doesn't mean this is where you're going to be in a week or tomorrow or in 10 hours.
Right.
Okay? But this is but this is where you are right now. And if we can honor ourselves and not put as much pressure on ourselves and know that it's going to change.
Right.
Wow. That opens our world up.
Right.
So thank you for sharing about that. I also want to ask, because we've talked a little bit about this before. So I know that you haven't always been a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it took you some time before you got to the place of making that decision. And I like to talk a lot about helping people realize that, you know, we go through challenges in our lives, and it takes a process before we get to a point where we can actually feel confident enough to make a big change, right? So what did you do before?
I sat at a desk. I kind of fell into digital marketing after college. I actually went to school for political science, and I worked on a political campaign in Vermont, and it kind of like left me with a bit of a bad taste.
I wonder why.
It was, you know, I thought I was like on the good side and doing good, and people would always be asking me questions, and I didn't really have like good answers to it. And so I would ask the higher ups of the campaign, like, hey, these are questions, and like they wouldn't give me answers, and I was like, I can't not be truthful. I can't go out there and just that's just not me. So I couldn't find a job in Vermont, and then I went home and I found this job. A friend of mine was like, "Here, come interview for this." You know, they were looking for very junior people, green people. They wanted to bring them up, and it wasn't it was pretty good for you know. I was like, "Oh yeah, this isn't that bad." You know, I really didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. So I was like, "This is pretty cool," and got pretty good at that. And then I left this company and went to work for another company. It was complete 180. People were working. It was almost like it was a game
Is this the marketing?
Digital marketing, where you know, people were or a competition, people were trying to be the earliest in there and stay the latest, and it was just what, I can't do it. This is just. So I started thinking about alternative at that point. I was maybe there are other things. Maybe I just can't be at a desk all day.
Interesting.
Then I found this other job, and I stayed there for 4 years. It was actually not that bad, and I was just kind of going through the motions. But I was in the back of my head kind of being what am I doing? Is this what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life? Am I just gonna sit at this desk and do this stuff that's not challenging at all, and wasn't helping me grow? So then I was like, oh, I think I just need to switch companies. And and
so wait, were you before you?
This is a 10-year journey.
This is a 10. But my question is, during this time, are you lifting weight? Are you in the gym at all?
Yeah. So I've always been active. I played sports growing up. Baseball was one of my favorite sports. Yeah. And then I didn't play anything in college other than intramurals and stuff like that. I'd go to the gym. I had no idea what I was doing.
But were you passionate about the weightlifting piece while you're on this 10-year journey of?
I discovered it shortly after starting CrossFit. I started CrossFit in 2011.
Okay.
And quickly was introduced to the Olympic lifts.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I really like this. And tried to stick with CrossFit for a little bit longer, but I was I just want to lift weights. I like it. I like the technique, and it's just it's very much you versus the bar. You know, around this time I compete and I do competition, but we'd play pick-up basketball games or stuff like that, and my friends would just go berserk over and it's guys, we're literally playing this for fun. There's nothing on the line here. It's not we're going to the state.
That's how you felt.
Yeah. So I was this is ridiculous.
Friends may not have seen it.
And CrossFit kind of started to get like that, where I was just I'm not even doing this for myself. I'm doing it to beat somebody else. So I started weightlifting more, and all the while I'm still working this desk job, and finally was all right, I need to I think I just need to leave this company. I need to challenge myself a little bit more. And I went to this company, and I think I lasted 7 months. This guy hired me, and 6 weeks later they laid off a bunch of people. I somehow made the cut.
Wow.
And this new guy took over.
Okay.
And he was crazy. he was, I mean, he would like call you out and like
The middle
embarrass you
yeah.
in front of people, and had this like really weird. He was up and down. He's all over the place. He was like, you know, he'd have like a whiteboard full of scribbles and all this crap, and he's like, "This is the plan. This is what I want to do." And a week later, it'd be like another set of script. "This is the plan. This is what I want to do." It's like, dude, you didn't even give us time to implement the other thing that you're talking about. And so somehow I was like, this just isn't working out. I have no idea what my role is, and I like somehow was like, "Can you guys like lay me off?" I forget how it happened.
Really? And
I was like, I'll go like find another job. All the while, like in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening? And I went to like the last company that I ever worked for, and it was like, I think it happened for like a reason. Like there was a reason this happened. Like I went
Universe
to this company.
Was like, "Okay, Joe,
like,
this is taking you like a long time."
Yeah. So this company drove home the point that I needed to like not be there. I worked. It was another like digital marketing company. My manager was, I don't even like, she was just not a nice person. She everything I did was wrong. Everything, you know, it was like, I would do something and she was like, "I want it done this way," and I would like literally like try to do it that way, and I was like, "No, this is wrong." Like,
so it was never right.
It was never right, and
couldn't win.
And it just like it kept building like this, kept having like conversations. Meanwhile, I'm like, I think at this point I've went to a doctor. I was like, I have like anxiety off the charts. Like I can't sleep at night. My like throughout the day, my tongue's like numb.
Seriously?
I've never felt like this before.
With this job in particular?
Just, this job in particular. And I think it was just me feeling trapped.
During this time,
I think,
right,
you know,
I think
that was kind of like the feeling of that just sort of like coming out. And towards the end, I was like what am I going to do? I have no idea. Like I've done this for 10 years. Like, I just give it up.
All that
I want to
stuff
say
that
for
we
like
say,
2 months,
a lot of people
every
say
time I drove home and I cried for like 2 months. Like I was just like in tears. I was like, this sucks. I can't believe I have to wake up and go do this again. And this was like another one of those jobs where it was like, get in as early as possible and stay as late as you can. It's like,
what am I doing this for?
You know, like I'm not helping anyone out. I'm not changing lives. I'm not doing anything.
Right.
And then finally, I knew this was coming because I actually saw this we had like a train in and I saw a document, something, it said my name on it, and I saw it on the screen and I was like, oh God. Because I knew that there was like, this company is very small, and it's like, if you're not part of the in crowd, you know, like if you're not in step with everyone, and I was like, I'm definitely not in step with everyone here. Like I hate half of you. And I met, it was like a terrible conversation. There was like
with your boss?
Like a 16-page document of everything that I did wrong ever. I didn't even read it. Wow. I went home and threw it in the trash. And that evening I wrote an email and I was like, I resign or something like that. And I just sat there, and then my wife Katie came over and she went, send. So it was like, right? So and that was it.
What was that moment like
for you? The next day, and I was like, well, no turning back. And so this is
did you feel
we were
good?
kind of talking about this earlier. So 2 weeks prior, I went to a buddy of mine.
Oh, it was 2 weeks
your
before.
Neighbor,
okay, yeah.
So and he's kind of like a life coach, health coach,
kind of
sort
guy.
of, you know, and that's something that like a business he was building on the side. And so I was like kind of working with him. I was like, dude, I have no idea what I want to do. Like, this is like terrifying. And he told me a story about, it was like a Greek army that went to some island, and the head guy or whatever ordered all his men to burn the boats. And he's like, there's no going back from this point.
Whoa.
So, you know, like, and it's not like the idea of like burning bridges where you're going out of there, you know, like I always think of, there's a scene from a movie where this guy quits. He's like, F you, F you, F you, you're cool, F you, I'm out. Like it wasn't like that, which would have been awesome, but it was kind of like that point. It's like, like that story was just like, hey, like if you're gonna do this, like you're gonna do it,
right,
and
all into it,
all in,
not just one foot,
right,
but you got to really go.
So I was like, okay, and then I heard at the time that like they were looking for coaches at the gym.
Yeah,
I had already been coaching at another CrossFit gym, kind of like helping out a buddy. Sort of like I'll coach for membership.
You had been there a little bit, but not a whole lot.
I had done that for like 2 years, so I had some experience, but still like a lot to learn. And then I reached out to a buddy of mine who was a contractor in the area, and I was like, hey, like I know like we've talked a little before. I know you need help. Like I quit my job. My kids start Monday.
Right.
And so he was a huge help. So for 18 months I worked with him, and I slowly
started to build your own
business, and now that was, I don't know, 2.5.
But how awesome is that now for you, huh?
Oh, it's the best.
Totally loving what you're doing.
Yeah,
and totally shows.
I mean, it was like challenging, but
right,
like it, I don't know. I encourage everyone if like they're
right, and so that's
like you'll figure out a way.
Exactly, because there's so many people who want to make changes in their lives, business, relational, just like all over the board. And usually we look at things as so black and white, right? And that's fear, right? We can't see a way around it, right? There's always a way. I like to tell people, you know what? We have choices all the time. You just have to look at it from a different angle, right? And so that's a lot of what I do too. I try to sit down and just have conversations with people because they literally are so plagued by fear they can't see it.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you realize that. I think it's great, of course, that you're sharing that with people too, because, well, here's a question: what would you say, looking at our camera over there? What would you say to the person who's hearing this, or who's looking at this right now? And they're really unhappy in the job that they're doing. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there that are really unhappy.
Right.
What would your wiser self say to like your younger self? Not necessarily age, but now that you've come through it, now you see the other side, you're in the other side, you're passionate about what you do, you don't have the anxiety, your tongue is regained itself.
Yeah, I can feel my tongue again.
I can feel my tongue again. Because that's like energy that's not being used, and it's inside of us, right? And it's kind of turning on ourselves, right? And this happens to a lot of people. They think it's them. They think they have a problem, right? But really, a lot of times I think it's people aren't using their energy. They're not flowing. If you believe in the chakra system, your chakras aren't flowing. You can't, right? The universe is clogged up, right? The universe wants you to keep going and flow forward. And when you stay stagnant, you get more energy and you get more stagnation, and it can implode on you. So what would your wiser self say to the younger, the person who's afraid, who, they have bills to pay, they've got a family? And
I mean, I think if like you're passionate about something,
and you'd be happy doing it, right?
Then,
you'd be happy doing it.
You figure out ways, like whether it's you just quit altogether, or you start to do a little bit on the side and start to build
what
from
I think
there
is,
and try to like.
Right.
I think and I'll even do it now, and I've learned from that, is to like not rely on one source of income.
Correct.
To have other streams, like, so I not only do stuff at the gym, but I have my own business where I have stuff coming in from there, and it's just like, I think that it, like, if you love something, and it's like getting, like, if you've heard if somebody says like you get a tattoo, they're like, think about it for a year, and then if you still want it, then get it, or something like that. Like, it's like the same thing. If you've been thinking about doing this for a year, like,
exactly.
Just do
well,
it.
That's what it is.
I had there were many different times where I should have just quit my job, and it's, I don't know, it might feel like it only gets harder. You're like, oh man, I'm getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this. But
but I think too, it's important to also realize that everything you experienced is exactly what got you here. Right? So all of it, you needed the confirmation that it was time to leave, right? Your situations were getting harder and harder. And you were...
I couldn't go to another job interview and be like, oh, I want this job
wait.
so much.
Yeah, I know.
Like, no, I don't want this job. I never want to wear these clothes again.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I want to talk a little bit about your mindset, because I did say to you, is there a quote, is there something that you say to yourself, to help you when you're going through a tough time?
Yeah.
What is it that you say to yourself?
That's just tough. Like, I feel like it kind of depends on where I'm at.
Okay.
And different things speak to me at different times. Right now, there's not any one thing in particular.
Okay.
But I've been really focusing lately on trying to just have empathy, be more empathetic. Both to the people that I coach, people that I'm around, and to myself too. So that I find it helpful if I start to get, if I just have all these negative thoughts and I'm telling myself a story that's not true.
Right.
And so it has
great
been
that you
helpful
realize that.
to do that. And I try to realize when this is happening. I'll also just practice breathing. I think just being whoa, you gotta slow down for a second. My mind's going a mile a minute, and just sitting there and breathing for you don't have to spend a ton of time, but just taking 10 deep breaths, and it's just everything kind of slows down.
That's
it's also something I think is one of my struggles, and something that I always have to. I'm always working on it. I'm always trying to
on the empathy
develop a
talking
strong,
to
a
yourself
better mindset, and all of that. I guess there's so many factors that go into that. Just your setting, where you're at throughout the day.
Right. I mean, I constantly tell people to try to leave the building, leave wherever you are, and go outside.
I do that.
You know what I mean?
Even
go outside, get into the energy of outside. Being in nature is really amazing, and I'm sure you're an outdoors kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel it. I'm not as outdoorsy as my wife, who probably wishes I was as outdoorsy as her.
Oh, it's good.
She's let's go hike a mountain.
Oh, yeah.
I walk in the
wife.
woods, but...
I'm not hiking that mountain. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I just want to take a look here. So I want to talk... So you said here, whenever I catch myself in a negative thought spiral, I have been trying to come from a place of empathy, which you just said. Empathy for myself, empathy for the person or the thing that may have started those negative thoughts, which is really awesome. And I constantly
thinking that they're coming from a bad place,
or the other thing,
or that their intentions are bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know what, people
Everyone's
trigger us.
With their own
They are dealing with their own stuff. But what I find is people say things, they hit us funny, so they trigger us. Oftentimes the quick immediate is, oh, it's something about the other person. They're hurting my feelings. They're doing this to me. Right. But no, it's really not. It's it's showing me what it is that I need to give attention to inside myself.
Triggered.
Right? Yeah. But you said a saying that I think about when you're going through some tough times is wait for the cookies.
Yeah.
Which is a funny saying. Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
It comes from my coach. So I've had a weightlifting coach, and he's so much more than that. I mean, he's a good friend of mine now. He is my mentor. I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today, nor would I have gotten there as quickly without having someone like him as guidance.
Awesome.
And so it was just a saying that his business and just the team that I'm a part of is all about training sustainably, and in really having the patience to
that's the toughest
kind
part.
of I don't want to say earn certain things. I don't think that's like the right word, but to just be like, yeah, like as an example, in
Is
the
it
gym,
like a
if
gestation?
you're like squat is, you know, if you have poor position, poor technique in your squat or something like that, your posture is bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little bit of time to fix that.
Yeah.
But if like you just like wait, you're not like grabbing the cookies as soon as they come out of the oven.
Right.
You're waiting just a little bit. It's more of just like have that patience and you know, just wait for that reward just a little bit. And if you do that, then like good things happen. You know, it's not it's pretty cool.
And you're being more mindful about it too.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of what you talk about and a lot of what you do with the people you coach is mindfulness.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
It's being very mindful, and you have to be
strength
present.
Coach / therapist.
Yeah, and therapist, right? I mean, right, exactly. So I guess let me ask. So what do you do in your other business then? So you.
It's still person. Like I do remote.
Okay,
remote
you work
coaching.
for like the CrossFit, but then you also do
I have
your own biz.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same stuff. I work with these people remotely. So
that's great. And you're always looking for new athletes, I would assume, to work with.
Yep.
And to include. And well, I want to give people the opportunity to find you. So everyone can find you on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it's JOSEPHBYJOE, right? That's one. Joseph by Joe at Joseph by Joe, or at Prototype Barbell Club. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or at Prototype Barbell Club. Okay. So I appreciate it. Is there anything else that you would like to add to any athletes listening, or? I'm
super grateful for everyone that I get to work with. I mean, it's really special to have somebody put their trust in you. To guide you through something like Getting Stronger and everything that comes with it. I mean, like without them, I wouldn't get to do what I love to do. Right. So like, I mean,
it shows. And I want to say thank you to you for being, that support and that awesome coach for so many young people. Mm-hmm. For older people too, but for the young people, they really need this right now, right? And I just think it's an awesome platform that you provide. So I've really enjoyed this time. And
thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into You Are Good Enough. I can't wait to talk to you soon, and have a great week. Thanks so much.